Welcome to X Marks the Spot podcast. The story you are about to listen to is all true. People's names and locations, though, have been changed to protect their identity. Everything else has actually happened to myself and my guest in the story we are about to share today. And with that, let's get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to X Marks the Spot podcast. I'm your host, Will, and today I have my amazing friend and cinematographer friend, Jon. He is going to be telling us this nice story today. Jon, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. So, our topic today, Jon and I are going to actually talk about our kind of terrible history of dating, which is actually a lot of fun because mine comes from California to out here, and Jon's has really just been out in the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Unless,
Yep.
like, I mean, you haven't gone like to Europe and you're just like, oh, I'm dating this person now, and like I came back here and like I don't know how to break it off. Across the pond.
Unfortunately, no, no.
Okay. So, who are we gonna talk about? Like, what's is it a recent one that you want to talk about? Is it just someone you want to mention? Like, there's this one story I have that I have to tell, kind of thing.
Okay. Well, there are two. Wow, cut that. There are two stories.
Okay.
So one of them actually kind of like, okay, so I'll start from the beginning.
Let's start from the beginning.
So it was when it was like 7 years ago or 7 or 6 years ago when I moved back to New York from Texas.
Okay.
And so I was working at a CVS, and I had a manager there, and we became good friends. I guess since we give them nicknames.
Yes.
I'll call her L. Let's call her L.
Okay.
Yeah.
L's good.
We got along really well, and I think she was dating someone at the time. And to be honest, in my mind, when someone's in a relationship, I'm like, all right, no, there's no chance. I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm just, if we're friends right now and you're dating, we're friends. It's going to stay that way until something happens. I'm not going to look forward to it, or I'm not going to look forward to that moment.
I'm going to look forward to it.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. We actually, I actually just talked about this with the last guest, Maya, on it, about like when someone is in a relationship, off limits.
Yeah.
No matter, even if I'm like, we connect so well, this and that, I'm like, but there's still, for me and for you and I guess a few of us, where we're like, we actually have,
Like blinders.
Well, we have blinders, and we're also good people. We're not.
Oh, yeah.
We're not just like, I can't wait for this to end for you
Yep.
because then I'm gonna creep on you. And there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, I think there was, I don't know what the saying was. There was like some saying where it's like, if he's, like just because he's dating doesn't mean he's taken, or I don't know, some stupid.
Oh yeah, or like the other saying of like, there's not a ring on it, so so try or whatever.
Yeah, and it's
I hate those.
awful.
Like, ew. First of all, like, because then I'm never gonna trust this person because they cheated.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't know. It's like stealing. It sounds weird. It's stealing someone's property. If that, it sounds weird.
I know where you're going
weird.
with it, but
Okay.
yeah, it 100% sounds weird.
Yeah.
All right, so you have a manager at CVS. She's dating somebody, so you never saw the interest. How long did it take until you realized, like, when they broke up, or like because you two were always working together?
So it was weird because like we never hung out outside of work, and I never asked to hang out after work because, again, she was dating someone. And then one day she was like, "Oh, you should come bowling with me and my family." And I'm like, "Great." And she's like, "My boyfriend will be there too." And I'm like, "Okay, I know I've been in this boat," because it's like, here we are in the friend zone again, which is basically my whole life. And so, that happens, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay, blah, blah, blah. And it was really awkward because her whole family was there, and then her boyfriend was there, and like she would sit back and like hang with me, but I felt really uncomfortable because I'm like, your boyfriend's right there. Don't just like hang with me. Like, I'll go over there, and I would like push myself over to the family.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, and also the family's there. Like, it almost feels like it's wrong at the same time, because she's like, so this is the current one, this could be the next one. It's like, why am I here? So
yeah so that kind of happens like maybe like a month later. She told me that like she broke up with her boyfriend or something like that. And I'm like, oh dang, that sucks. And still in my mind, like, it takes me a while to like peel off that label of oh, she's single, because like, give it some time, let it breathe.
Exactly. You have to. And this, I've brought it up before, where there was somebody who I dated out here. It was going fine until I ended up finding out that she like just became single. Like, how recent? It's like, oh, like a month or two. I went, oh, okay. And in my head, I was like, okay, so I'm guessing like a relationship was like a year or so.
Yeah.
No, it was like part of her life, 15 years or something.
Yeah, that's way too
and
fast.
I was like, oh, and she's like, I'm already over it. I was like, probably not.
Yeah, but I mean, and if you are, like, you have to think about like, if she got over that guy so quickly,
Yeah.
she can get over you too.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as quick.
Well, and the other thing too is my concern was she was just jumping. She was going from one to the other. And my fear along the lines, and I remember I ended up telling her, date, just go date. Because my God, go date. Like, I don't care who you're dating. If you sleep with like 5 other guys, I was like, just please, 1, be protected, 2, tell me. And then I'm like, I'm not going to care right now. I was like, because you need to enjoy it. But she was on this like goal and like, I have to find the next partner. And I was like, I understand because you need the comfort and this and that, which again, for me, it was, I didn't know this. If I knew this prior, I would be like, blinders are still on. I'd be like, let's hang out. Let's just hang out. There's no date. It's just 2 people. We're chilling and everything. Again, it was during the pandemic. So, everyone's mentality of like dating changed, which I'm sure wasn't for you on this case, but
No.
it probably would have been almost better.
Probably.
So getting back to yours. So she's single. You still never saw that label off because you're just like, she needs time. She just needs a friend.
Yeah.
And again, you are thinking exactly like a good person, like how most people, or at least I would think most people, are just like, all right, I want to make sure that they're fine. I want to be a good friend to them. So what happens?
Yeah. So I don't remember the exact time frame of like when she started asking me to hang out, like just us 2. But
Okay.
I'm gonna be very liberal with it and say it was a month. Okay. So I'll just say it was a month because I honestly can't remember.
Could have been a week. Could have been 3 months. Like
Yeah. So we started hanging out. And I remember like at one point she was like, yeah, you want to go see a movie? I'm like, yeah, sure. We went to see a movie, and then, that night nothing happened. And then the next time we hung out, I think we were just at some like park at night, and we were just chilling, and I drive her back to her home. And then, like I think that was the first time, like we actually kissed. And then she tells me like, when we were at the movies, I really wanted to hold your hand. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And it's like in my mind, the endorphins are going off, and I'm like, this has never happened. What do you mean? And so that was nice. And so, like things are going great, like she already knew my grandparents because the CVS I worked at was like right down the hill. And then I get an opportunity to move in with my friends out in Jersey because I got this really good job at this production company.
Okay.
And we're talking like 300 a day. It was a weekly thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into that because I was an idiot. I was an idiot for that, but yeah, so like I moved with my friends. We're in this like nice like townhome, and then Elle at the time was living in a not so nice part of town.
Okay.
Like very much the ghetto. I was driving my grandparents' like really nice, pristine condition year 2000 Jaguar Vanden Plas. Looks like a classic. The last year.
Oof.
Dude, yeah. Remember, I was driving the car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I do remember that one.
Yeah. Back when we were working at that place.
And that fun place.
Yeah. And so I didn't feel comfortable like keeping my car there.
Oh, absolutely not.
So she like calls me, and then she's like, hey, like what would like, can I move in with you? I'm like,
ooh.
Yeah. And that was like maybe like I think that may have been like a month or so into our relationship.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe like there's not much room here. Like I have a small room in this apartment, and I also have to ask the guys. She's like, yeah, well, I'm getting kicked out of my apartment. And I'm like, oh, and that put me in a bad position. I'm like, I can't just like, not do anything. So I was like, all right, fine,
Yeah.
you can. I'll ask my friends, see, you know, if you can move in, just, you know, you can stay in my room and I'll sleep on the couch. I'll do whatever, right? So my friends say yes, she's in the apartment. You know, time passes, you know, blah blah blah, and then the whole time I'm trying to figure out why she got kicked out and how we can get her rent.
See, and I was just about to ask. I was like, did you ever find out why she got kicked out?
Yeah. And so like I'm trying to figure this out, and I asked my Nana and she gets involved because she used to do evictions.
Oh.
Yeah, so
okay.
she knows this stuff.
So
And
she knows, play by play, like how to do. And
I'm like, I got my Nana involved. Maybe we can, you know, we can help you out. And she's like, no, the rent's gone. It's gone. I'm already over it. And I'm like, okay, but I still have my Nana go check. And my Nana went to see her landlord. Her landlord says that she moved out on her own. Her sister said she moved out on her own. And I think it was just because she wanted to live in a better, in a better area. Now, had I been the only person involved with like whatever was happening, I would have, I think we probably would have dated. Maybe we would still be dating or maybe married, whatever. Because like if someone lies to me, I'm super forgiving.
Yeah.
If someone did anything to me, I'm extremely forgiving. I have a very high tolerance for that stuff. So I would have been like, you know, I'm like, you could have just said something. You can stay here. Yeah, sure. But like, don't lie to me. But then, you know, it leaves a bad taste in my grandparents' mouth. It leaves a bad taste to my mother, and word gets around.
well, and especially because you got them involved because you were concerned. You're like, what happened to her? Like, I want to make sure like she's okay, like she's not missing anything, and then you end up finding out that it wasn't even just like a lie. It was like an excuse. It was something that she knew, like it was a drastic thing to say to basically make you go like, oh yeah, let me figure out like, and you can stay here.
Yeah.
See, that's nuts. I've never had.
You've never had a situation like that?
I've never had that before. I remember though. I don't know what this person's situation was, but it was when I was living in California. We actually had a room that we were renting out. So, you know, we posted it, you know, people were reaching out to us. Some people were looking. I got a text at like 10:30 at night. And I was like, okay, that's not too weird because, you know, it's California. And like we were renting the place out, or the room for like $1,000, which is like fucking unheard of. So as we're doing that, I get this text and I look at it and it's like, hey, is like, you know, the room still available? I'm like, yeah, it is. I was like, if you could contact me tomorrow though, because I was like, it's a little late and like, I understand. I was like, I'm happy to show you it. Just like, let's talk tomorrow. 20 minutes go by. I get another text. It's the same person. And they're saying they want the room. I was like, I know. I was like, a lot of people do. I was like, but again, it's late. So text me tomorrow, please. And they're like, I need the room tonight though. And like, they basically were like, I'm in danger. And I was like, okay, call the cops. And then they start calling me. And I was like, I hung up and I texted them. I was like, stop calling, stop texting. If you're in danger, call the police or go. And like, I never heard from them again. And I told my current roommate at that time, I was like, hey, so this person, and she looked at it. She went, what the fuck is happening? She's like, no. And she's like, I'm so happy you weren't like, oh yeah, like come by, this is the place. I was like, I'm not gonna put myself in danger. I was like, this person was literally like, oh, I'm in danger. I went, I mean, it's fucked up, but I was like, but I don't really care. Like, I don't know what danger means to you. I was like, but to me, it means like you have either something like abusive or someone's trying to like find you. I was like, the last thing I want to be is involved with that.
Exactly, because if you're involved with it, everyone in your thing is involved with it.
And the other thing too is like, even if it was just an eviction kind of thing, it's like, okay, that's a danger thing. I was like, but you gotta say that. You can't just be like, I'm in danger. It's like, okay, I'm not a cop, nor am I a superhero.
Right.
So what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? Like, this can't be your home. I don't want any of this.
Yeah. And
then they called me the next day and I was like, yo, I was like, first of all, you're right. Second, don't call me. Like,
no, you don't want anything to do with that. That's nuts.
And it stopped after that because I told him, I was like, look, I was like, I'm not showing you the place. I was like, so I'm blocking your number. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, but already off the bat, I don't want you here.
That was an immediate red flag. Yes, please let me stay here. Yeah. I'm in danger. Yeah. It's like that meme. Yeah. I'm in danger.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt. Like, because I don't know what this could have brought, like what kind of fire was going to be in the house. I would have been the dog meme, like just been like, this this is fine. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, this is the worst thing that could have happened. Like, and I made this stupid decision.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I sort of did this to a girl. Like what happened? Not fully.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the first girl I was seeing when I got out here. We had a lot of fun. We got along very well. And the problem was I was staying with a friend. And originally I was supposed to actually get a house and everything, but like that whole thing fell through because they were just like, oh, you're too new here. I was like, none of that makes sense. I was like, I have the money for a down payment. I have a job. I have a contract for a job. I was like, I freelance. Like, I have money. So just let me get this house.
What's the issue?
Yeah. And I was going to get this like nice, it was basically an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house with solar panels, a nice yard, everything.
Wait, solar panels?
Yeah. And it was all paid off. Like, and here's the crazy part. The house kept getting reduced in price because who, in a sense, wants a 2-bedroom apartment for like a family home?
Yeah.
Me. So
you were the perfect candidate.
I was exactly the person, and it kept dropping in price. I was like, just let me get this fucking house.
Oh my gosh.
So, and it never went through. So I felt bad because like I was staying with my friend and her parents for like 3 months at this point. I was like, they're just going to kick me out. Like, I'm way overstaying my welcome.
Yeah.
So her and I talked, and I told her, I was like, hey, this isn't a like situation. I'm just like preparing, and I kind of want to have like plan A through D. One of my plans, I was like, would you mind if I stayed with you for like a couple days? I know we just like started dating. I was like, and I know this is really stupid. And I was like, and I know this is a lot to ask. I was like, but it would just be for like 3 to 4 days. It's just so I can find an apartment just in case if like they want me to leave.
Right.
She was so hesitant, but I kept telling her, I was like, I'm not in danger. Nothing's wrong. I was like, I also don't mind like, you know, renting like a weekly hotel or this and that, like whatever I have to do. I was like, I'm just, again, plan. Because if I don't, I mean, when I moved out here, I had no plan.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what I'm going to fucking do. I don't know what job I'm going to get.
You're one of the brave people who can do that.
It was brave and stupid. 100% it was stupid. But so I'm asking her this stuff, and I saw her face, which I'm sure was like yours, like, oh my God, like, how do I help? And then I remember the next day, you know, her and I talked again, and I told her, I was like, forget everything I said last night. I was like, I'm so sorry. I even put that on your shoulders. I was like, I know I said, like, don't worry about me. Like, I will always find a roof.
Right.
And she felt bad. She's like, it's just, you know, it's new. And I was like, that's not, I was like, again, has nothing to do with you. A week later, I found this apartment. And then, you know, she actually came over. She actually gave me like a housewarming gift. She gave me like that.
Oh,
she's
like,
nice. Yeah, she gave me like a big like pot to cook in and everything. And it was very nice. And like we talked about it again. And I told her, I was like, this is all I needed. I was like, I just really needed a couple days to find a place because I was going to find a place. I was like, I'm inconveniencing you. I'm being nothing but annoying to this family because like it's another person that's not even family to them in a sense. And so I was like, it sucks for everybody, especially me. But I was like, I just needed a couple days to just find a place. And that's all I wanted to do.
Exactly.
So she finally understood after I got this place that she's like, it was just so crazy because I thought it was like you were trying to trick me into being like, I just want to move in. I was like, absolutely not. Yeah. Like there was no subtext. There was no hidden meaning. I literally just needed
a place.
I just needed a roof for my dog for 3 days. I was like, the dog can stay with you and I'll sleep in the car. Like, just let me come up and shower. I was like, that was another plan I had. And she's like, who are you? I was like, a person who wants to make sure that his dog is going to be safe.
I think that question in itself kind of shows what the normal guy looks like, which is a pain in the butt. Because like guys like us, like we're literally just like, we don't want anything. We don't want anything else other than like what we asked for. That's
exactly
it. And the good thing about, at least you, like compared to my story, you had the context is right there. You literally said, hey, this is what I need. Can you provide this?
Yeah.
That's fine.
And again, like I told her, I was like, I just need a couple days. And it wasn't like me being like, I'm getting evicted. I told her it was like, I might get kicked out. I was like, I doubt they'll do it. I was like, it's a huge doubt. I was like, but even if it's a 10% chance that it's gonna happen, I was like, I gotta be prepared.
Right.
Because I won't know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and again, I was like, you and I have been having fun. And I was like, and you do have a spare room. I was like, again, I don't have to stay here. But I would love if my dog could.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I talked to my friend about it too. She's like, you'll be fine. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then again, in a week, I got this apartment. So I was like, you know what? I was like, this is all I needed. I just needed those few days to really like narrow down, especially because when the loans were like, nah, we're not going to give it to you. I was like, okay, great. I'm glad you guys wasted 3 months of my time.
Exactly.
Like I could have found an apartment by now. So yeah. So again, I've never been like, oh, I'm in danger. I need a place to stay. And then like you just are there and they're like, so you're going to leave anytime soon?
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
It's been a year and 17 days. Why haven't you left yet?
So how long did she stay with you even after you found out the whole situation? Like,
so yeah, it only 4 months.
4 months.
So she stayed in the apartment for 4 months. I found out, I think, month 3, but I didn't say anything.
Got it.
Because I'm also living with her, and we were helping her look for a place in Jersey.
Okay.
So like the whole deal was you're staying here, so then we can find a place for you to go.
Okay, so it wasn't just she was there and in a sense lounging around. Like it was still the search for a new roof.
Yeah, and
okay.
and I, to her credit, she did a lot of the searching. Like she really was diligent in searching and everything. And she was. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't enjoy her living, because I that was the whole the reason why I dated her, because I enjoyed spending time with her. Like she's pretty. She was the first, and she was my first girlfriend, mind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so first girlfriend I had liked anime, was a gamer, and was pretty. And I was just like, it was like 3 check marks.
Yeah.
Immediately. And like that's why so I eventually I remember she didn't have anywhere to go for New Year's Day, so I invited her over. No, did I? Yeah. I invited her over. I think on New Year's Day, to hang out with my family and everything. And my family was really confused as to why I was still dating her. And I yeah.
And you're like that check marks 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. And so they were
gamer, nerd, pretty.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna find this.
Right. Any ladies listening,
yeah.
If you have these 3, you're already top tier.
John's ready to start dating you. Right. He'll let you move in, like.
Yo, but for real though. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so I and this is after we found an apartment for her. I helped her move in, and she wanted to know if I wanted to move in. I was like, I think I'm okay. And then I drove her back New Year's Day, or New Year's Day. It was like 1:00 in the morning, and I told her look, we can't do. I can't date you anymore because of what you did. And it was tough. She cried. I cried, and it was really tough. I had to. I think we were at her apartment for an extra hour before I could actually bring myself to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
but there was that whole cloud in a sense above you guys of the self-doubt and everything. Because I'm sure she even had this feeling is it going to at some point? Because I did this huge lie to him. So you guys ended it. And it was an hour before you could do it. Did it take almost another hour for you to get up and leave, or did you just this can't, and then you guys were kind of crying? Did you do the hug and then bounce, or
Yeah, I just left. I was I'm sorry, and then I don't even think I hugged her. I couldn't bring myself to it, because if I did hug her, that's an emotional thing. If there's one thing that people know about me is I am purposely not physically emotional, if that makes sense. Because it matters a lot to me. People say it's okay to kiss on the first date. Me, that's such a special thing. Even the whole of course the holding of hands, that's a special thing. I even sometimes get if I see someone that I like and they give me a hug, that gives me butterflies. I'm it's like that. I'm like, is that a marriage proposal?
Did we just do it?
I wasn't ready. My heart.
I wasn't even wearing gloves in my hands.
Oh no, she's gonna get pregnant.
It's funny because in a previous episode we actually talked about that on the hand holding thing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's
I didn't get
that. It's intimate.
Yeah.
And I remember even agreeing with that, and I agree with you now too, especially on first dates, I have kissed and like made out on some, but it's because like our date would go on for like 8 hours, and we're just like,
that's a good sign.
and it's like I think we're vibing.
Yeah. And
exactly. And again, I still won't really go in for it. I have a few times, and I have gotten the kiss, but then sometimes it's really the girls just like, I'm gonna fucking kiss this dude because if he doesn't kiss me back, like then this date was a complete waste of time. But yeah, even then, like the hand holding and stuff, like I find that so much more personal to where like her grabbing my arm, I'm like, that's fine. But the second she gets the hand, I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my God, what are we moving in together tomorrow? Like, pump the brakes, girl. Like,
you sounded so Brooklyn there.
I know.
What are you doing here?
Whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but
you think you're gonna have some of my meatball sandwich? Get out.
You gotta pay for the meatballs in the sub. But yeah, I think it's like the interlocking that feels. I think that's it at least for me anyway. It's like there's this, you know, that the hand holding where you don't interlock.
Yeah, it's like
that's like the kumbaya, and then there's the linking where it's like, okay, this.
Yeah, fingers in interlocking with one another as opposed to like fingers kind of like doing that like bro like handshake what up man kind of thing.
I would never hold. I can't hold a guy's hands interlock. I see some guys do that, and I'm just like, that's not me. That's not.
I've done it to annoy friends.
Oh no. Okay. So if you ever do it to me,
I might ninja it to you one day when we're all hanging out.
I'm gonna wear gloves. I'm gonna wear like
just
little
to
like
really bother you.
I'm gonna wear mitten gloves from now on when I'm around you. But yeah, so that kind of ended that. We did hang out, you know, a few times after that, and I remember, you know, just like it felt weird. It felt weird that we were hanging out.
It does.
So yeah. So I think both of us just mutually at one point we were just like, yeah, we're just not gonna do this anymore.
It can't usually work at that, especially when there's in a sense such a connection and everything, and then you guys go from that into like, oh, like let's just be friends. Like, can we?
Yeah.
It's like, can we really?
Yeah.
I can't.
It was really hard to like not be near each other. Like after we broke up, it was like sitting next to each other just felt normal, and I had to like break that apart. So, but I mean, like that, I think that's where that story ends. I do have another story, but that's where that story ends. And like now, like, you know, it took me a while to get over her though. After we stopped talking, like it took me a while because I really liked her. But you know, now she's actually engaged. She's like moving up, and we actually hung out. Like we stopped contact for 4 years. And then I saw her again at the same CVS we met at, and then we ended up, you know, going to a Wendy's like one day, and we just like kind of reminisced, and we both like just apologized for like
everything that
we made up, and like she's cool. So
see, that's great, and you know what? It's good though that now, like, she found somebody. She's moving on, and you moved on too with it too. And
yeah, I moved on by myself.
Yeah, and you know what? Though sometimes that's what we got to do.
Yes, indeed.
It is hard.
Yeah.
There was a girl, and it was the same thing. Like the checklist was right there.
Yeah.
Super cute, nerdy, also liked anime, and I was like, all right, something's wrong. Trifecta. It is, and I was like, but what's wrong? We got along so well and everything, and it got to the point where we literally could just like sit on the couch, and we would do the whole like, all right, what do you want to watch, like Netflix or whatever, and she'd be like, oh, this looks like a geeky sci-fi show, let's watch it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is it. I think I literally found she never went to any like cosplay kind of thing, but she has been to conventions, and she wanted to start doing cosplay, and I was like, oh, and I can show her that because that's what I do and all this stuff. She loved all my nerdy shit because she does the nerdy shit. I was like, what is wrong here? What could be wrong? The only thing that went wrong with it was she had terrible hygiene.
Oh.
And it was to the extent where like, so she lost like 90% of her smell. But at the same time, I was like, but you can feel when you're dirty, to the point where I knew it was bad.
Like it was like, was it like the type of bad hygiene where you can be around her, and even if she's wearing deodorant, it still kind of smells?
So
or?
it wasn't to that like full extent, but it got to the extent where we're cuddling on the couch, and you know, she is shorter than me, and you know, nose is like right there on her scalp, and I'm just kind of like sniffing because my that's where my air's going to be.
Exactly. That's
and
what
I'm
you
just
do.
going, and I was like, I was like, it's not a very clean smell of the scalp. And I was like, interesting. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, she did just get from work. She also just went to the gym. I was like, maybe she literally just like quickly like rushed over here. And then, I kind of found out that no, she didn't really like even shower. And I was like, okay, that's kind of gross. This is where I knew it was completely over. So, and everyone's gonna be like, wow, what a move on this guy's part. But I do offer my dates or my females and everything massage because I actually know how to do them, and it's to the point where I'm like, all right, let's go for a minute and then we're gonna do it. Like,
yeah.
I actually go in, like I actually get the knots out, this and that, and it's something I do offer because not a lot of people get to have a massage. One, they're expensive, and then two, whatever partner you end up having sometimes is literally like that. Like they'll poke your shoulders and they'll just want to go straight into sex.
I'm pretty sure a lot of girls would appreciate that anyway.
Yeah.
Just for a guy to give them a massage.
Yeah.
Even if it's not sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so in a sense, we like did that whole thing in the bedroom, and I actually have like an actual oil for massaging and this and that.
You're serious?
Yeah, I'm like dead serious. Like I'm like no,
where's
I'm
the
like
certificate?
just like no, it's a massage table. I don't even have a bed. Like lay down, and she's like, oh my god, no. So we do that, and then afterwards, we do have our fun.
The happy ending.
The happy, she got a very good happy ending. And it wasn't until like we were cuddling for a bit, but she had to go home because she's like, I have to teach in the morning, and I was like, that's fine. But she as she's getting up, she's like, hey, what's in the oil? She's like, because it smells like something and I can't think of. And I was like, oh, it's like a vanilla like almond like oil. And she's like, that's what it is. She's like, okay. She goes, okay, so I have to shower tonight because one of my kids has a nut allergy. She's like, and even if it's like a mimic, like I don't want to risk it. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you may want to just in case. And I walk her to her car and everything. And as I was walking back, I went, did she say she has to shower tonight because of the oil? Which means she wasn't going to at all. Which then proved to me that I was like, so she probably has not showered in a bit.
Oh.
Who? Ew. And there was certain times like when we have hung out that I've kind of noticed it, but it wasn't anything like drastic. Right. But when you're in the bedroom and everything, you can also tell at certain times it's like, wow, you have not washed.
Yeah, I mean, especially since in the bedroom it gets hot and it gets steamy and things start to sweat.
All that stuff. Yes. So it was funny because we like chatted a little bit and then she just kind of stopped talking to me. And I was like, I wonder if she caught on that maybe I thought that was really weird or gross or something, because she kind of stopped replying and then I just kind of stopped reaching out. And I was like, I wanted to end it, but it kind of ended because she never responded back.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, like she reached out again. We started chatting here and there. Maybe. But the other thing too is a lot of people I brought this up with, and it's hard to bring this conversation about like anyone's hygiene.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to be self-conscious around you. And I was like, how do I bring it up in a way to keep this relationship going? Because this is actually going to work for me. And it can't because of one dumb thing that I can't bring up without it constantly ruining her self-esteem.
Right. I think like that it is such a tough discussion, but I also feel like sometimes those moments it's best to just rip the Band-Aid off and just be like, look, I noticed that you have a certain smell that's not the most pleasant. And then maybe you can be like, well, here are some ways that you can, you can get over that. Here's some hair stuff or some body stuff that really gets into the skin. And if she's like, oh, well, that was so rude and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's either I was going to tell you or someone else is going to tell you.
Yeah. And the other big thing too, I actually got some advice on it before, was some female friends told me, they're like, why don't like when she comes over, you just worked out and you're just like, oh, I'm going to hop in the shower. Do you want to join me? I did that once. And she said no.
Oh.
And I was like, did you shower before you get here? She's like, no. She's like, but like, go ahead, I'll be here. And I went, fuck. Yep. So it wasn't like I wasn't trying to, in a sense, bring it up. It just, and anything I was trying to do, it's either she saw through it or she was just like, nah. And I was like, man, she just doesn't want to be clean or something. And it's so weird to me because, again, like with yours, like all my boxes completely checked. Like her and I could talk. Her and I connected. Even in the bedroom, like our sexual chemistry was there. Mm-hmm. We both liked anime. We both liked all these nerdy things. Like I never had to worry about what I was going to watch with her because she watched it too.
Right.
And I was like, this is fantastic. And it wasn't even just like a one thing. It was like a big thing because the biggest thing for me, and it sucked too because it was such like polar opposites for us on that. She has like no sense of smell now because I think she said she had like a heat stroke.
Oh, not COVID.
No, it wasn't anything of that. This was years ago. This is what happened to her.
Okay, good.
But for me, scent is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you know, I like to smell nice and this and that. I like things when they smell nice. And like, I even notice when people smell nice. I notice when someone stinks and I can't have my partner smelling the whole time.
Yeah.
Because then what am I supposed to do? Like we're sitting on the couch. I'm like, hey, you should go shower. Like, I don't want to be that person. I want to be a fucking jerk.
Yeah, yeah.
And just be like, ah, you stink. Go away. And it's like, I'm like, she's going to end up breaking up with me anyway. So
right.
like, this fucking sucks. And I even had someone tell me, they're like, why don't you just bring her like a nice little like basket from like, what is it, Bed Bath & Beyond?
Yeah,
or
and she's not going to use it?
Or, no, Bath & Body Works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from that. And I was like, I might as well just kick her in the face while I'm at it. Like,
that too, yeah.
Just be like, hey, you smell. Here's a basket of things of smells I like.
It's like back in the day when you get someone a Tic Tac. It's like, are you?
Yeah.
Are you
like, do you want a mint? It's like,
what do you mean?
Are you going to have one? Because something's initiating of why I'm offered.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give that girl kind of the benefit of the doubt with not with going over to people's house smelling, but like there are sometimes where you don't leave the house. No need to. I don't think there's a need to shower.
Exactly.
Like stuff like that. We're like, okay, but I don't feel like putting on deodorant. I just got up. I going to my computer and editing all day. It's fine. I don't need to smell good. But if I'm going to be in the presence of someone, I'm going to smell good. I'm going to take a shower. Like anytime I've gone on a date, anytime I've gone to see family, anytime I have to kind of now because I live with my brother and sister, but like I make sure not to smell like a rat.
Yeah. You don't want them to be like, John, you all right? Like,
no, they won't even say that. They'd be like, John, you stink. Yeah.
Well, because most of the time, like if you reek, most people are going to associate with like, maybe they're depressed or like maybe something's going on with them. Like they can't. And it really just comes down to, it's just, some people just she didn't want to shower. And I was like, that's disgusting. Yeah. And again, the last straw for me was the fact that she was worried about her child having an allergic reaction being near her. And I was like, so should I squirt you with like, this is so gross to say, nut juice? Any chance it's like,
it's not squirt, an innuendo.
No, it's not.
It could be, but
I literally
not.
Mimicked like having a spray bottle. Yeah. John sees it
for the people who are listening. Just imagine the squirt bottle.
I'm not mimicking. I'm whacking it or anything.
Giggity.
Yeah. But no, and again, it was one of those where I was like, God, this was rare. And it was someone who also loved my dog, who also liked. She was the introvert extrovert. Yeah. Where she liked being inside, but she also liked going on hikes from time to time. So I was like, you have the perfect balance.
She's like a trophy.
Yeah.
Oh,
but that's why I was like, man, this one kills me.
Yeah.
Because, and again, when we reconnected, I was like, maybe this is a second chance. And then it happened again where like we were chatting here and there, and then Animal Crossing came out, and she loved that too. Yeah. So I was like talking with her about it, and then I sent this like whole thing about like this update that just happened on it, and then she never replied back. And then
was it the soap update?
No.
I'm joking.
It could have been. That would have been funny. And then I mentioned one more thing like a week later, just to be like, you know what? Maybe she didn't see it, maybe it didn't send. So I was like, let me just try one more thing. I was like, wait a couple days, wait a week. Did it again around like 1 o'clock. Again, this is when the pandemic was still going on. It was summer. So I was like, I was like, I know she's not teaching because it's summertime. So she's off. Yeah. And sent her and got no reply. And I was like, all right, well.
That's it. Cut the
tie. I was like, you know what? And that's what I did. I was like, you know what? It's over. I'm going to stop texting her. So I deleted all our texting between us. And I was like, there. I was like, now it's over. And it sucked because I went, maybe this is the time. Like, her and I can reconnect. And then maybe she'll ask, like, what happened? I'll be like, okay, this is terrible, but I got to tell you.
Yeah.
And again, I was hoping it would get to that because, again, I wanted it to work.
Yeah.
But it's hard when scent is such a big thing for me. And I was like, and I would smell BO basically. And I was like, and I can't do that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. And I think that kind of brings up another thing about this is just on like, dating culture in general. The one thing that kind of annoys me the most is when there's just no more response. Like me, I at least, if I'm not interested, I'll strike up a conversation and say, hey, look, I don't think this is working, but good luck.
Yeah.
That's my thing, because I hate it. Happens to me so much where like I'll be using a dating app and we'll have a good conversation and then nothing.
Yeah, and it just out of nowhere it'll stop. And it's
like just say, at least say, hey, I'm not interested. Like just send that. I can't even reach you. I can't even look at you.
Yeah,
it's fine. You're safe.
Yeah, everything's fine. It's funny because I actually dated this one of the first girls I dated when I got out here. Lived out in Jersey City, and we connected a lot. Like our first date, we had a lot of fun. Our second date, we had a lot of fun. And it was like our third date. Funny enough, like she took me to like a rooftop. Like we could actually see like New York and everything. Yeah. It was fantastic for me. That's awesome. Because I've never been out here.
Yeah.
So we do that, but it started raining. And so like we got rained on and like we went back to her place and we watched something and then like, we made out and everything. And the chemistry was there.
Yeah.
But I think it was also because I was still new and I was still trying to figure my shit out. She was like, okay, I need to move on. But she never actually told me that until, lo and behold, over the weekend, like she had a baby shower she was throwing for a friend. So I was like, okay, I know she's busy. So, I said like good morning to her. I was like, hopefully the day is going to be fun for you. She didn't really reply until like a couple hours later. I was like, oh yeah, she's busy. And I knew that. Around like 8, 9 o'clock, I text her again, just like, hey, hopefully, the baby shower went well. Hopefully all of you had fun. I was like, I don't know if you guys went to like an after party or anything. I was like, but, have a good weekend. Didn't get any reply. I was like, okay, so she's hanging out. Yeah. I think it's like Monday comes by. Still haven't heard from her. And I was like, oh, weird. So I text her and she takes like 3 hours and she just replies with, so I was hoping you would have gotten the hint of like my replies like getting less and less. She's like, but I also realized like it is also kind of messed up that I just basically wanted to ghost you. And she just told me like, this isn't going to work out because you are still trying to figure your stuff out. She's like, and I kind of want someone who basically has their feet more planted. Yep. And I was like, that's 100% fair. I was like, sucks for me.
Yep. And
I just told her, I was like, take this as no offense. I was like, but just in case, I was like, I am going to delete your number. Yep. I was like, I've never done it in the past. I've never gotten drunk or text. I was like, but I also don't ever want to have that temptation.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, because I also really liked you. I was like, and this sucks for me.
Yeah.
So she's like, no offense taken. She's like, that's actually really nice of you.
Yeah.
To actually even tell me that.
That's exactly how it should be. You say, look, I'm sorry, it's not going to work out. I'm deleting your number. Have a good life.
Yeah.
That's
done.
And it's so easy. Like, I don't care if like we were having such a great time and then the next day you're like, look, I don't think it's going to work out. But like, at least like, cause like,
something.
I think, yeah, cause it does something. It does something to someone's self-esteem.
Yes.
When you think you've done everything right and you get no results.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think that needs to change.
I think so too. I will say not too long ago, it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
But I did ghost a girl and I felt bad and I still feel bad. Yeah. Because it wasn't like I was like, you know what, let me just ignore her. I was trying to figure it out and then I went out of town and then of course this whole shit happens and then like I'm in town, I'm like, it's been 4 days and I have not said anything. I was like, I feel awful. I was like, but she also hasn't reached out.
Yeah. That's
She also might have known that it was ending because, again, I was also not like as talkative through it. I was also trying to finish as much work as I was before I left. So I was busy, but I was like, after the last time we hung out, I was like, a lot of things I realized was like, this bothers me till no end of like this, and this. But again, because I was working so much and I was like planning my trip and I was like leaving so soon, I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, I will end it with her when I get back. But then it turned into, we weren't chatting. Like she never reached out. I never reached out. I went,
yeah. And it feels like that standstill, that like stalemate where it's like, are you going to respond?
Exactly. But it sucked because, again, like you said, I should have just told her, just been like, hey, I know I'm out here right now. I know we haven't talked in like a day or two. This is on me. I was like, I feel shitty. I want this to end. It's, it sucks for you and me. I was like, but I don't see this working out. I'm going to delete your number. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I should have done that. And I still feel bad that I didn't do it. And I still feel bad that I haven't done it. Because at the same time, too, when I got back and I told people, I was like, should I even do it? They're like, no. Like, because you're going to, message her, give her hope, and then ruin it? I went,
I don't really, I mean, at that point, you're going to message her, give her hope, and then ruin it. Like if she hasn't responded to that hope you're giving, she doesn't want it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I actually, like, was it last year? I can't remember. I think it was last year where, I actually started dating. I think I might have told you about it. Right? I started dating this girl, and she was taller than me, but she was super cute. She was going to Harvard. She was just a wonderful individual. And like when we did 4 dates, and she was just pleasant. Like there's one kind of, it sounds weird to say it, but I do kind of a test when I'm on dates, and I won't say anything just to see how the silence feels. Like if they get antsy, if they enjoy the silence, or if they just take that moment. And I'm also the type of person who would like to just kind of sit and just enjoy that person's
presence,
just them being there. Yeah. So and she checked that box, and it was like we would be walking in Manhattan, and we wouldn't say anything for like a minute, and it never felt awkward. But she was just the absolute worst at messaging. Like I think honestly, I think she just wanted to like cut ties, but she was just too nice or something like that. I don't know. But like at first I would get like maybe like a message a day, or not a message a day, like maybe like a couple of messages per day. And then we went on the first date, and then it became 1 message a day. We went on the second date. It became 1 message a week. And then the fourth date, it became 1 message a month. And then eventually at some point I would just, and I'm always the last one to message. So like, I think you might've been in that situation where you're like, I don't want to say like, I don't want to send a message saying, hey, how you doing? And then say, hey, it's not going to work.
Yes.
Like
exactly.
You don't want to like that double message. And like, that's kind of where I was. And it just sucks because she was so wonderful, but I would just, yeah. So, and that actually happened recently. Like she hasn't messaged me in like, I think almost 4 months. And so I think I'm at that point where I'm just like, all right, well, like I'm going to message her one last time. It's like, look, thank you, but I'm out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, and it is hard. And I mean, with each person I've talked to, even off mic, like, just hearing some of these stories of like what people have gone through, like dating and everything, it's insane because it doesn't matter if it's through an app, if you meet someone through your friends, or it's like someone you just like kind of ran into at convention at a store, and you're just like, oh, that's a cool shirt or whatever. So much happens between that time and then now, whether you two get along so well, and then a week later, it's nothing. And then, I mean, I kind of also had the same thing with like the girl I was telling you about. Like we were vibing, and then over the weekend, she just kind of was like, I want to ghost him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so weird. Like,
yeah. And if
you made a conscious decision to say like, I'm going to like, I don't even want to know what you told your friends. Like, they're like, oh, how's that guy you're seeing? She's like, oh, I'm going to ghost him. Like,
yeah. And it's like, so like, did something go wrong during that date? Did I say,
exactly.
And you start to replay the entire date,
everything,
pick it apart. And then you're just like, nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong. So what's wrong? Like, why didn't she message me?
Exactly. And it's almost frustrating. And I understand because again, I recently just kind of did this to somebody.
Yeah.
But it could have been
I mean, technically, I did the same thing you did.
Yeah. But again, maybe they knew. Maybe we both kind of knew that it was over. Because maybe that one date we just were like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it anymore. And I don't know how to just say that. Granted, I did and I didn't know how to say it. But I also had work and stupid shit on the mind, which sucked because, again, I put her as like the least priority. And I was like, I should have top priority, like break it off, work, and then go.
Yeah.
So... Again, I understand. Yes, I am the host, and I have never apparently made a mistake. I've made plenty of mistakes, like dating, everything. Like,
so you're human?
Yeah.
Oh my!
It's fucking weird.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Thank you. For that.
Regardless of like how I started off with, like, you know, like we are good people. I mean, still I am, because I do take people's like emotions and everything into consideration. This one, I didn't know how to go about it, especially because, again, the conversation fell so short. Like, even her responses, like after our bad date that one night, they were short. They were just like mine. Like, they were short, and I was like, I feel like we know.
Yeah.
And it sucks because one of us should have just said something, like been like, "Is this over?" Like, that could have just been the question, and it would have been like, "Yes," and it could have been that simple.
Yeah.
I never took that initiative, and I should have. But she could have too. She could have just been like, "Is it over?"
Yeah, but
and then, like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, but it's also hard to take that initiative because, like, I mean, like, if you're on one side and you're like, I really liked this interaction, like, I really liked the time that we spent, you're gonna be a lot more hesitant to say, so this is over, because you don't like
True.
Deep down you don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
But on the opposite side, it could be the same thing. So it's like, I feel like both parties need to, like, at least if someone sends you a message, at least respond. At least respond with something. If you're still interested but not too interested, respond with like, I don't know, just something. Yeah. Instead of nothing. Something is better than nothing. If a girl was just like, you know, I sent her, if I was like, hey, you know, I really, you know, appreciate your time, or not appreciate your time, but like, I really enjoy
interview.
I know, right?
Thanks for your time, John. We were so happy to have you here.
See you tomorrow at 7 a.m. But no, it's like I appreciated, like, you know, or I liked the time that we spent together, and then she replies with like, yeah, me too. Then it's like, all right, okay.
Yeah, because then you know.
I would appreciate that, because then you know, right?
Yeah, because it's like, you know what? Things are over. Yeah, they're like, one of the last stories I'll tell off of this.
No,
was,
go ahead.
There's a girl I also dated when I first got out here. She worked on a farm. It was weird. I've never dated a girl who, like, literally her job was she would go work on, like, it was like an event farm, so like people can like rent it out and like have weddings and this and that.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Her and I got along very well, and I remember our last date we actually kissed and made out, and like, I knew it was good because she kept going in for it. But then it was the next day, like, again, I did the whole like good morning kind of thing, and didn't get a reply because I knew she was at work. I got a reply around like 2:00, and it was the paragraph, and I was like, fuck.
Oh, the paragraph. Yeah. The moment you see the long, you're like, all right, it's over.
And so I was like, I already know, but I'm gonna read it anyways. And it was the whole, you know, she really liked me. She just didn't feel like, you know, we connected or anything. And she's like, I'm sorry, but, you know, I don't want to continue. And it was weird because I went, pretty sure our last day, like, we had fun. We made out for a bit. Like, we talked for almost an hour. Like, we saw the restaurant close. That's how much we were talking just outside and kissing and everything. I went, what am I missing? What did I miss? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask her that, but I went, you know what? She already made her decision, and I'm going to let her have that. Like, I'm not going to fight for this. I never do. And I know some people are like, that's stupid. I'm like, it's not.
Yeah.
But someone's made their decision. They made their decision. I'm not going to change their mind and just be like, oh, you know what? I'm actually this guy. I'm like, no, this is who I am. Like,
fighting for someone who's like, you know, I think it's over. Like, I feel like there are special cases. Like, if you've been dating for a long time and she's like, you know, this happened and this happened, I don't know if it's going to work out. I think then you kind of have that right to fight for it.
Yeah.
But like, if it's like, you know, you went on 2 dates, there's no fighting it. You don't get that.
No, because, you know, one of you, like you said before, like one of you felt it, one of you didn't. It's fine.
Yeah.
It can end. And I know it would drive some people mad, usually men, and because we're stupid. Yeah. But I was like, you know what? It's over. Cool. I was like, And I remember I told her, I was like, it sucks for me. I was like, and I'm sorry, like I wasn't in a sense better for you. I was like, but I know you're going to find someone great, because she will. Yeah. I obviously I've never checked because I deleted her number and everything, but I know she will, because again, she was fantastic. I had so much fun with her, and I was like, and if I can connect with somebody like that and all I see is like nothing but smiles and like good times, someone's going to win her heart over. And I was like, and fucking congratulations to them. So dating's always going to be fucking hard, whether it's at your job, whether it's someone you meet online, whether it's always going to be someone you just meet. Like, dating always has obstacles, and I've said it before, but I'm like, it always does, and it never ends. And it sucks because, again, even when they check those boxes, there's always going to be something wrong.
Yeah, and it's really just like the tough decision between like, can you compromise that, or is that just a no-go? Like, for example, body odor. Is that compromisable? Can you be like, okay, well, all of these 3 boxes that I really wanted outweigh this one big box? Yeah. Does that happen?
And I mean, it has, because again, like I said, how do I bring it up without ruining the relationship? And everybody I've asked, no one had a good answer, and everyone's like, they're like, I don't know if I could bring it up.
I mean, it honestly, I think, depends on the temperament of the girl. If she is good with taking constructive criticism, then yeah. But you have to also wonder, has she been asked this before?
Exactly. Or has no one ever brought it up? Or at the same time, like, it's with anybody. Any quirks or any things we do, like, I'm sure I know. And my best friend has asked me before, because I mentioned it when I was breaking it off with the girl. I was like, she's just annoying because she does this and this. She goes, let me ask you. She's like, do you think you're annoying? I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I know I'm fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's like, if she's more annoying than me.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, when I'm annoyed, that's when I'm like, man, that shit's annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm very self-aware. I know a lot of things I do. I mean, I even know when I've said something dumb and I'm just like, damn it.
Yep.
I'm like, I will never say it this way again. Yeah. I will never do this again.
And then you do it anyway. And
but there are times like I see the pattern. I'm like, why do I do that?
Yeah.
And I stop doing it because I go, well, like when I catch myself doing it, I'm like, no, I was like, do something different. Whether it's how I like take a compliment, either if I cross my arms or, put on my hips, something dumb.
Yeah. I
will try and do something different. And I'm like, just accept it. Like, relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be weird about it.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm very self-aware. Some people are not. And that was my fear, is like, even if she was able to take the criticism of whatever else, my fear was, this is something that's personal, like 100%. Like, this is your body odor. Yeah. And like I said, like I asked so many people, everyone gave me the advice, and everyone like paused and went, no, you can't do that. And they were like, but if you, and like, it was like, I gave everybody this riddle that no one could solve.
Yeah.
And everybody had the same answer, was you can't. You legit can't bring this up without it affecting the relationship, because no matter what's going to end up happening from there, she's always going to be self-conscious around you.
Yeah. Well, unless she, takes a shower.
But even then, like, what if, and someone told me was, she will be self-conscious if she takes a shower, drives to your place. She will then think, like, if you offer to take a shower with her because you just worked out, she'll just be like, oh my God, do I stink again?
Yeah.
And she will always think that. She will always be with you, always thinking, he probably thinks I smell right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it is tough. Yeah.
It is. Even if I'm just like clearing your nose or something, or you like got an itch, my fear would be she would be thinking I can smell her or something. Yeah. And I was like, no, I was just, and no one should ever be that paranoid around a partner.
Yeah. It would probably get to the point where you'd have to hug her and then say, wow, you smell really good today. Like, it would have to be like an everyday thing, like, oh, wow, you smell good today.
But then it could also affect her in the sense of like, what if she thinks I'm just saying that to... Yeah, so... And again, so many people I've asked, even talking about it with you now, I'm like, if someone did that to me, like if I smelled or anything and they kept doing that to me, I go, I don't think I do. And I would always have that, like, in a sense, like it would be the paranoia feeling like I am always dirty. And I can't get rid of it. So again, there are the unfortunate stories. Like, again, you also had that too. You had the girl who checked all the boxes, but she did this one big thing that literally clouded all that. You're like, I can't. I just can't. And it sucks.
Yeah. It really does. And the sad thing is that happened twice in my life.
Oof. Yeah.
I don't know if we have time for that.
I don't know, but I will want you to come back and we can talk more about it. Maybe we'll have happier stories on it.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll have happier stories.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jon, thank you so much for joining on the show today. It was awesome talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Is there anything you want to plug at the end? You want to have people check out like your Instagram or like your website?
Yeah,
or
I mean,
anything?
if you want to check out my Instagram, you can just, it's at JONHARRIS.DP. That's Jon Harris DP. And you can check out all of my the pictures of the cameras and me on set. Well, you won't see me on set because I don't take pictures of myself. But
yes. But Jon is also an award-winning cinematographer. So anybody who is looking for someone to do camera work or anything, give him a shout because dude's got an eye.
Yes, indeed. And your very own host is a great editor himself.
Oh, thank
He's also
you.
got some good ideas for films. So if you guys need an editor, you should hit him up too. You guys know where to reach him. Come on.
Well, thank you. And everyone listening, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this during your day, during your night. Whatever time you're listening to, thank you and have a great rest of your day.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you for listening to X Marks the Spot podcast. Episodes are released every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Just search for X Marks the Spot podcast. If you have a story you'd like to share, please feel free to send a message to xmarksthespotpodcast@gmail.com or DM us on any of our social media. Thank you again for listening.